In Destiny 2, you've got a ton of different weapons, abilities, supers, all of which can result in lots of different builds and playstyles. Well, my preferred playstyle and one that I think more people should try out is playing a support build. It's fun, rewarding, and it's unique from a lot of other games that give you an option to play a support role. So, my name's Doc, your host for all things healing, and allow me to take just a few minutes out of your day to tell you why I love support builds and why I think you should try one. Let's get into this. So, firstly, I want to start off by talking about what I just mentioned a second ago, which is that Destiny support is pretty unique when you compare it to other games. Take a look at games like Overwatch, Battlefield, and a game you might recognize if you've seen my other channel, The Elder Scrolls Online. All of these games have a system where you select a specific class or role that's dedicated to healing or support. Obviously, that's a bit of an oversimplification, but you get the idea. In Destiny, though, there aren't any defined roles, and it almost entirely comes down to your choice in things like weapons, armor, and subclass. It's a very fluid system where support exists almost on a spectrum rather than with a hard defined role. If you want to dedicate yourself entirely to healing, you can do that. If you want to focus strictly on buffing your team's damage for boss DPS, you can do that. If you want to run a hybrid build where you provide a little bit of everything while also pumping out some damage, you can do that. And that's not to say that this system is superior or inferior to other games that I mentioned. ESO has plenty of options for build choices, Overwatch has a ton of characters with unique abilities. Destiny just does support a little differently, and it can be a nice change of pace if you're taking a short break from another game where you play support pretty frequently. In that same vein, another thing that I really love about Destiny support is that the stereotypical view of support in a lot of other games is that we're just helpless heal bots, which isn't true in those games either, but I digress. In Destiny, though, that stereotype is far from true. With the fluidity of Destiny's support system, you'll never be without an option to go on the offensive with your team. Sure, maybe you're not going to be top in the leaderboard in terms of your DPS or kills, but I can absolutely say that even when your build leans pretty heavily into support, you can still put out damage and kills that are comparable to your team. And I think that stereotype from other games may be why more people don't try out support in Destiny. They think that if they build into support that they'll never be able to do any damage or get any kills or anything like that. And okay, sure, maybe I'm not the best example to use. I've been using support builds since the D2 beta, so it's possible that maybe experience plays a role in my success with them, but still, I don't think that I'm any better than any other player, so if I can do well with them, I bet you can too. Another reason I really enjoy using support builds is that it makes me feel like I'm doing something good for my team. Over the years, I've run into some people who are really appreciative even to just have something as simple as Illumina on the team. Whether you're in a raid, a GM, some Crucible, or even Gambit, there's usually a place for a support build on the team, and people can appreciate someone who volunteers for that job. Of course, I don't play support builds to be thanked. I do it because I love it and it's fun. But it is nice to be appreciated, and it's nice to know that I made someone's gaming experience a little more fun or a little easier. If you're someone who queues with random teammates like I do, you never know when someone's working on a bounty or a challenge or a catalyst or something like that. You very well may just have helped them make a ton of progress on whatever it was they were working on, and it makes me feel good to know that. Finally, I just think that above all else, playing support builds are fun, like it says in the thumbnail. It encourages you to almost look at the game differently, to the point that you basically have different objectives than regular builds. Where other builds are focused on things like raw damage and room clearing potential, you can mix it up a bit by focusing on things like healing, buff up times, debuffs, crowd control, ability generation, dropping ammo, and more. That's not to say that regular builds don't focus on those things as well, but the cool thing about support builds is that when you're focused on providing those things for your allies as well as yourself, it adds an extra layer of complexity that can be really fun and challenging. I totally understand that playing a support build won't be for everyone, and that's totally okay if you're one of those people, but I would encourage everyone to at least try a support build at some point or another because maybe you'll end up having a good time. And that was everything we had to talk about today. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Let me know if you'll be trying out a support build, or if you're a support enthusiast like myself, what do you love most about it? Don't forget to check out the link in the description to follow me on stuff and join my Discord server, and maybe consider subscribing if you'd like to see more Destiny support content. I think all I've got left to say is that I've been Doc. Take care of yourselves, be good to others, don't forget to try out a support build, and I will catch y'all in the next one.